Hey, everybody. Bonsoir, bonsoir. Finally home from the township meeting and had to do a whole bunch of stuff, and then watched Ben Bradley report on WGN. He did a and that's weird that segment just played, but okay. So anyway, yeah, did you guys see it? What did you think? I think Ben Bradley, he did a pretty good job. He did a little segment on Harvey tonight on WGN News. So I had to watch that, excuse me, take care of a few things. But I did briefly want to do a recap of the township meeting for tonight. And then I wanted to actually go to, oops, and I just got a text related to that. Why did I get 2 alerts of being live? That's weird. So yes, let's see. Jabbar said I didn't realize there was a Thornton Township meeting tonight. Think you're doing okay. Oh, okay, good. Yeah, hey Jabbar. I hope that is helpful. Yeah, it wasn't really particularly very good. I don't think that they gave a lot of answers, but I'm going to try to quickly go through the meeting, and then I want to look on the Thornton Township website to see if the lawyer said that there was stuff on there. So I want to see. Actually, let's do that first because I'm impatient. I want to see Thornton. Thornton Township website. So I'm going to pull that up right now. Okay. Okay. So. Look what pops up. Oh, Lord. All right, so here's the township website. Let's take a look. What do we got? Hello, Luke. What do we got here? So when we bring it up, it's thorntontownship.com. Oh, pretty easy to find, I guess, right? Holiday luncheon. Register here. Okay. Oh, Lord, more bingo with politicians' faces. Food basket program. Okay. After school program. Okay. Tech savvy. Just for seniors. Oh, it says registration is now closed for that. Senior lunches currently serving Cal City and Riverdale. Okay. Turkey giveaway was today, I guess. 3 to 7. Okay. So anyway, let's go. It says financial reports. The most important thing in the meeting was, like I made a public comment like, hey, we still don't have enough transparency. Where's our forensic audit? Blah, blah, blah. And the lawyer, Steve Ladisinski, basically said, well, just look online and you missed it. They already gave a report. So I said, okay, well, let's take a look-see then, shall we? Excuse me. Annual reports. Maybe that's what he meant. But then there are audits listed here. There's one for 2023, there's none for 2024, and there's one for 2025. The lawyer also did mention, he said that he said something like they couldn't do audit, or they couldn't do certain things because of the federal investigation. But again, that doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't sound right. Like, I understand that there's an investigation going on, but does that mean that you can't show receipts? I don't know. Something like doesn't sound right to me there. So should we start with let's see what the audit for 2025 says. Okay. Sorry, I guess still gotta open it. Let's see, guys. Hey, Croc. What are we looking at? Tiffany propaganda? Right. It looks very similar. Hello, French. Hey, Paul. Hey, Paul. And Wyoming. Hey, Wyoming. Kasperic refused to put their name on last year's annual report, and I think it is the same this year. Right. That was the first thing that I was going to look at when pulling this up, but I'll show you guys too in a second. Get this out of there. What's on the website are the unaudited financial reports they pass out at the annual meeting each year. Thank you, Paul. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Mm-hmm. Ryan has another live going. Oh, are there two, Wyoming? Because I got two emails, and I'm like, there should only be one. So I don't know what happened. I hope it's not messing up. But yeah, good to see you, Kara. Paul Roberts is on the other live. 2 lives. Ah! Why did it do 2 lives? Wait, this is crazy. I swear I'm only doing one. Thank you, Wyoming, though. Yeah, let me see. Let me see if I can figure that out. What's going on here? Go to my channel. I think I only see one. Oh, okay. I think I see. Is it because StreamYard now is doing, like, it says it's doing 2 formats, like one for someone that's on a phone and one for someone that's on a computer, I guess? But that's weird. I don't think it should be 2 separate streams. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know how to fix that either. That's very random. That's so weird. Okay, yeah. See, if I click on that one, then Paul and Luke are on the other live. Yeah, and the one with the least amount of yours. And the weird thing is that, like, at least on the StreamYard, I just, I see everybody's comments. And the one with the least amount. Yeah, how do I, oh my gosh, you guys, this is weird. Like I shouldn't be able to StreamYard, you shouldn't be able to do that. Like I only have one session open in StreamYard. It's so weird. So weird. Yeah, this must be like a new thing they're doing. Huh. Can you guys see all the comments though, or can you only see the comments of the people that are in the session that you're in? I apologize for the confusion. Like I said, I think this is a new thing. Paul Roberts is not on the one that we're on now with Wyoming. Oh, it's so strange. And I'm looking like on my phone too, I only see one. Strange. And I'm looking like, oh, okay. Wait, now I click on this one and it looks like it's optimized for a cell phone. Got it. Okay. So, oh, I like that layout. And then what if I do, does it give me an option to end it though? Does it give me an option to end it though? That's weird. Oh well. Sorry guys. Yeah, well we'll just continue with this for now. I don't want to waste any more time. But hi everybody. Oh, okay. I can only see the comments in the chat I'm typing in. I just switched to the second one. Yeah, this is something new that StreamYard just offered, so I'm not sure how it works. Let me get the link for the one. Yeah, and yeah, I only have one. Only 2 people are watching the other one. I'll leave that now. Okay, cool. Hey, Paul. Good. All right, cool. So you all are in the same place. Maybe it's the computer-based one then? I don't know. But yeah, I don't even know how or if I could end just one of them. That's a really good question. I only have an option to just end everything. So it must be it's got to just be part of this new thing that they're doing. Come on. Come on. All right, cool. So Paul says that thank you, Paul. That's actually what I really, really, really wanted to know. Hey, Crook. So this is one of the things that they have posted. All right, oops, sorry. No, I wanted to get rid of that. And I wanted to add, stop screen, share screen. Okay, so I'll add that. So Paul, is this the one that you were talking about, Paul? That the This is the one that you're talking about. That what's their names? It wasn't audited. It was just from documents that the township folks gave. But this is what was posted under. When I clicked, it says audits. When I clicked under audit 2025, this is what came up. So let's take a look and see what it says. For the fiscal year ended February 28th of this year. Okay, so yeah, so that was the last board, right? Okay, got that. Organizational chart. No, I wanted to see. Okay, yeah, I wanted to see who was hired. John Kasparic out of Calumet City, right? This was October 2nd, 2025. Okay, so that's dated not that long ago. So what are they saying here? Let's zoom in so you guys can read better. Is that better? Disclaimer of opinions. We were engaged to audit the financial statements. Okay. For the year ended February 28th of this year. We do not express opinions on the financial statements of the governmental activities, each major fund, and the aggregate remaining fund information of the township. Because of the significance of the matter described in the basis for disclaimer of opinions, we've not been able to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence to provide a basis for audit opinions on the financial statements of the governmental activities, each major fund, and the aggregate remaining fund information. Because remember, Thornton Township has 3 funds. It's general operating, road and bridge, and oh Lord, what's the third? But we'll see it. It'll pop up here. I'm blanking on the name, but it says, as of the date of this report, there is an ongoing federal investigation involving the township. All members of the township's board of trustees did not respond to our request to confirm, to the best of their knowledge, that they were not aware of any pending or ongoing investigations, inquiries, or legal proceedings, whether internal or external, that would or could have a material effect on the township's financial position as of February 28th, 2025. As discussed in Note 13 to the financial statements, the effects of the investigation on the financial statements are not known as of the date of this report. So it doesn't really agree with what Steve Ladizinski, the lawyer, said. He said that they weren't able to give certain information because of the investigation. The auditor here is saying the effects of the investigation, the federal investigation, are not known. So, okay. The township has adopted the provisions of this particular Governmental Accounting Standards Board, Statement number 101, compensated absences. Okay. I see. Management is responsible for the preparation and fair presentation of the financial statements in accordance with accounting principles generally accepted in the USA. Okay. In preparing the financial statements, management is required to evaluate whether there are conditions or events considered in the aggregate that raise substantial doubt about the township's ability to continue as a going concern for 12 months beyond the financial statement's date, including any currently known information that may raise substantial doubt shortly thereafter. Our responsibility is to conduct an audit of the township's financial statements in accordance with auditing standards generally accepted in the U.S., GAAP, government auditing standards, and to issue an auditor's report. However, because of the matter described in the basis for disclaimer of opinions section of our report, we were not able to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence to provide a basis for audit opinions on the financial statements of the governmental activities, each major fund, and the aggregate remaining fund information. We are required to be independent of the township and to meet our other ethical responsibilities in accordance with the relevant ethical requirements relating to our audit. Okay, let me make sure you guys are seeing okay. Let's see here. All in the queue as requested from Robert last meeting. Okay. The report Casper gave to the trustees last month is 300 pages. They would not give it to the public or the press. This one looks new to me. Okay. Cook says, I just did the research. You can only take it down once the stream is over. You can't do it. Yeah, that's fine. No, just leave it up. I don't care. The 300-page report, Hunt told Allen he will send her, but tonight he told Allen the queue she did not receive it because she was blocked. Oh, that's right. I did see Kimberly trying to talk to Robert Hunt. Okay, so maybe that's what she was referring to. But yeah, let's keep digging into this and see what it says, shall we? We have applied certain limited procedures to the required supplementary information in accordance with GAAS. Okay. We do not express an opinion or provide any assurance on the information because the limited procedures do not provide us with sufficient evidence to express an opinion or provide any assurance. See? Now, that's not very reassuring, is it, about the accuracy of this information? Our audit was conducted for the purpose of forming opinions on the financial statements that collectively comprise the township's basic financial statements. Let's see, revenues, expenditures, changes in fund balance, budget and actual. Okay. They're presented for purposes of additional analysis and are not a required part of the basic financial statements. Because of the significance of the matter described in the basis for disclaimer of opinion section of our report, we have not been able to obtain sufficient evidence. Okay. To provide a basis for opinions, and accordingly, we do not opine on the schedules of revenue. Accountability and Transparency Act Consolidated Year-End Financial Report. We've also previously audited, in accordance with GAAS, the township's basic financial statements for the year ended February 29, 2024, which are not presented with the accompanying financial statements, and we issued a disclaimer of opinions on the respective financial statements of the governmental activities, each major fund, and blah, blah, blah. Because of the significance of the matter disclosed in the independent auditor's report and the financial statements for the year ended in February 29, 2024, it is inappropriate to, and the auditor does not express an opinion on the 2024 actual amounts in the schedules of revenues. Okay, so it just sounds like they're saying, well, we're doing an audit, but we can't really back it to me. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but management is responsible for the other information included in the report. Our opinions on the basic financial statements do not cover the other information, and we do not express an opinion on. Our responsibility is to read the other information and consider whether a material inconsistency exists between the other information and the basic financial statements, or the other information otherwise appears to be materially misstated. If, based on the work performed, we conclude that an uncorrected material misstatement of the other information exists, we are required to describe it in our report. Okay. We have also issued our report dated October 2nd, that was last month, 2025, on our consideration of Thornton Township's internal control over financial reporting and on our tests of its compliance with certain provisions of laws, regulations, contracts, and grant agreements and other matters. The purpose of that report is solely to describe the scope of our testing of internal control over financial reporting and compliance and the results of that testing, and not to provide an opinion on the effectiveness of the township's internal control over financial reporting or on compliance. That report is an integral part of an audit performed in accordance with GA government auditing standards in considering the township's internal control over financial reporting compliance. Yeah, so is that starting off making me feel very confident in this audit? But let's see. Okay, here we go. As management of Thornton Township, we offer readers of the township's financial statements this narrative overview and analysis. The assets plus deferred outflows exceeded its liabilities plus deferred inflows at the close of the most recent fiscal year by about $54 million. Okay, well, that would be good, right? If the assets exceeded liabilities by $54 million. Of this amount, about $14 million is invested in capital assets and $24 million is restricted for other purposes. The township's unrestricted net position, which may be used to meet the government's ongoing obligations, was at a surplus of approximately $16 million. The township's total net position increased by about $4 million. Okay. The governmental funds reported a combined ending fund balance of approximately 25 million. The unassigned fund balance for general fund was at a surplus of approximately 4.3 million. Okay. Okay. Now, this is what I was saying. We know the township maintains 3 individual governmental funds at February 28th. Does it make sense? Okay. Oh, yeah. The general fund, general assistance fund, and road and bridge fund. There we go. Those are the 3 accounts, right? By far, the largest portion of the township's net position reflects its investments held at year-end and investments in capital assets, land, buildings, machinery, and equipment. Okay, so we basically already went over that, where they were saying that the total assets increased, according to this, by about 4 million from 2024 to 2025. Okay. Liabilities, it looks like, went down by less than $1 million. Total net position, the township is like about 4 million ahead, maybe. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. We have charges for services, operating grants, general revenues, property taxes, other revenues. Okay. But, again, according to all these figures, it looks pretty, the township should look good financially, but it's not very detailed. Oh, we like pie graphs. Look at this. There was a decrease in all the funds related to administrative expenses and a decrease in general government and highway and streets during the fiscal year. Okay. Now, remember, this was under Tiffany, though. That's interesting. Township revenues for fiscal year 2025. Property taxes are like 80% of that. Operating grants, almost 10%. Other revenues, okay. So the township obviously gets most of its funding from our property taxes, right? Township expenditures. Remember, this was Tiffany's last year in office, okay? So we're not talking about the new administration yet. General government, 70%. Home relief is about a quarter of everything. Highways and streets isn't much, 2%. Interest is 1%. Okay. All right, let me see if you guys have any questions or comments. Sorry, guys. Oh, yes, if you would like to, hey, no apologies. If you would like to read along, if you just go to thorntontownship.com, and if you go to the financial section, all I did was go to the like financial information, and if you go under audits and click on 2025, this is what comes up. Kasperic sounds like they want to keep the township as a client, but they want to blame Robert Hunt if the feds find anything misstated. Thank you, Paul. Yeah, I don't see any corrections mentioned. Yeah. Because it's like, okay, here, we're going to do an audit, but we can't give you any reassurances. So it's like, well, what's the purpose of the audit? That's why I keep saying forensic audit. Like, we need to see it down to the minute detail level, like receipts, invoices, bank statements. Really? You still can't open the website? That's weird. Yeah, the address should be thorntontownship.com. And you go where at the top, there'll be different headings. And one says financial reports. That's what you're going to go to. That's very strange, Paul. Paul, maybe log in, try it from a different browser or try it incognito mode. Okay. Yeah. So do you see it? No apologies. Do you see it at the top where it says financial information or financial reports? And then you go to audits for 2025. Okay. Good. You found it. Good. All right. Excellent. Yeah. And so I'm on page, what page is this? Page 9. Page 9. Okay. So they're just saying, according to this, I mean, like I said, it looks okay so far, right? Okay. It sounds like it was saying we are doing this, we're doing that. It sounds like, township employees or politicians were speaking though, so that's interesting. That's what I'm wondering. And I'm wondering how much of this, right, is just because if I say, hey, I'm going to do a report on your expenses, and I ask you for information, and then I write a report and present it to the public and say, well, this is what Paul or what no apologies, said, or Crook, this is what they gave me about their finances, right? It doesn't mean, does that mean that that's all accurate? Not necessarily. It just means that I put together a report from information that I was given. But what if the person didn't give me all the information? Or what if they gave me incorrect information? That's my concern. Does that make sense? So I still think that they're hiding stuff. It doesn't, like anybody could make up these figures. I want to see the bank account statements. I want to see the receipts. So anyway, budgetary highlights. Okay, general fund. It says they were over budget with revenues. Well, that would be good. Okay. Expenditures were also over budget by about 41,000. Oh, well, that's not good. So they had a reduction in salaries. Okay, capital assets. So that was down slightly, like maybe about $1 million or so from 2024. Not a huge, doesn't look like a huge difference. Long-term debt. Again, according to this information given from township employees and elected officials, in 2025, fiscal year 2025, the long-term debt was less than in 2024 by about $1 million. Yes. Look. This is the key. And is this the one that Tiffany went over? Remember when she said early, it was either earlier this year or it was last fall? Because I remember, I think it was when the weather was still cold, but she was like, look, we have a surplus. We have a surplus. And then people were saying, yeah, but that's because of a loan. But look at this. This is what I want you all to pay attention to. This financial report is designed, come on, darn thing, is designed to provide a general overview of the township's finances for those with an interest in the government's finances. Questions concerning any of the information should be addressed to the township finance department, i.e. Robert Hunt, right? The accountant. So that's what I don't find very comforting. Like, well, why can't the auditors, why don't they have the information? Okay, statement of net position. Yeah, we already went over that. Okay. But I want to see, is there actual proof of any of this stuff here? Let's see. Like it has some revenue, expenditures. Like, we want to see the receipts. Like, how much were they paying for people's vehicles? How much are they paying for traveling to going to stay in expensive hotels for conferences, stuff like that. Okay, I think they already said all that. Yeah, assets, liabilities, net position. Okay. Okay, but where's I want some proof. Significant accounting policies. Let's see here. It says. What's this? The only component of the township is the Road and Bridge Fund, which is reported as a blended component unit. The Road and Bridge Fund is a separate legal organization, but since the township is financially accountable for this fund and the primary government has operational responsibility for the component unit, it is reported as a blended component unit. Interesting. Didn't know that. Okay. This financial accountability stems primarily from the boards of the two entities being substantially the same. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we got 3 big funds: general fund, general assistance fund, road and bridge fund. Okay, got it. Okay. I mean, I don't know. It's not really telling me that too much valuable so far. All right, guys, just checking in with you, see if you had any questions or anything. Refresh and renew your IP address, maybe? Yeah, that's true. No apologies, just me. What up, sis? Good to see you. Financial mystery. Yeah, do you see what I mean? Like, it's okay. So now they're supposedly explaining like how they do the finances, but I'm still not. I mean, does this make you guys feel any more confident about that they're doing the right thing and that things are transparent? It's like, again, I could tell you all sorts of things. I could say, I had $2 million in my bank account, and and this is how I decided to go over everything. I'm on live. All right. So like, all right, property taxes. Yeah, okay. So we know. Yeah, we know property taxes, capital assets. Okay. All right. More accounting policies. Okay. Prepaid items. Okay. They mentioned compensated absences, so it sounds like maybe people were cashing out. They were allowing township employees to cash out for unused paid time off, vacation, sick pay benefits, things like that. Now this could be a way that people have been scamming. Right here, look at with approval of the township supervisor, That was Tiffany Henyard. Now it's Napoleon Harris. An employee can accumulate an unlimited amount of hours, and it can be paid out in cash with the township supervisor's approval. Red flag, red flag. So you can get hours. You can get paid. You can get cash for unused hours or accumulated hours. And how do we know what the pattern is for accumulating the hours? Or if they're doing that honestly. Okay. Generally, employees are paid for all compensated absences upon termination. Okay. Township cash consists of checking accounts at financial institutions. Which financial institutions? How many accounts? Investments, including those of the OPEB trust fund, are reported at fair value. Okay, this says a little bit, but not much. Cash and cash equivalents include amounts in demand deposits with a maturity 1 year or less. At year end, the carrying amount of the township's deposits with financial institutions was approximately $10 million, and the bank balance was about the same, like 10.7 million. The difference between deposits with financial institutions and the bank balance is due to outstanding checks and transfers. Okay. It talks, about the FDIC. That's just federal insurance. Where's the account held? Like, what's the name of the account? Cash and investments. Okay. Fair values and maturities for the township's investment as of February of this year. Well, I mean, this is accurate. At least our ratings look pretty good. Like AA. There's an A-. Okay. General fund, general assistance fund, road and bridge. Now, what is this again? This is cash and investments. Government agencies, government notes, corporate municipal bonds. Okay. And again, those are all great, but I still don't, we still don't have any verification that any of these numbers are actually true. Okay. Talking about some more capital assets, like being depreciated and amortized, buildings, road improvements, office furniture and equipment, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Changes in long-term liabilities. Okay. Went down, I guess. That would be good, right? Deferred compensation plan. Okay. But, look at these numbers. This is why we need more clarity. Look, 10 million general fund, 5.3 million general assistance, Well, only about 500,000 road and bridge, but still, like that alone, that's about 16 million for, these are big numbers. It's very, in my view, it'd be very easy to steal money because there's just so much going on here. Oh, this is interesting. Look at that. Township entered into an agreement with Thornton Township Foundation, Inc. What's that? And Chicago Greater Food Depository. Okay, we know they help with the food pantry stuff. During the period of July 2023 to 2024, the township received food valued at about 500,000 in USDA commodities passed through from the Thornton Township Foundation, Inc. In addition, the township received food valued at about $1.5 million, which was state funded. Interesting. Okay, IMRF. Yeah, that's retirement. Okay, retirement stuff. We don't need to go through all that. I'm sure they get great benefits, but again, there's no proof that any of these numbers are real anyway. So I want to see. Oh, what does this say though? Active employees 75, retired 9. Okay. Post-employment benefits, what do they get? So they get pensions too, right? Wow. I mean, it's this was interesting. Look at grant repayment. The township received a notice from the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity stating that $500,000 of grant expenditures were determined to be ineligible and must be repaid. The township has formally appealed this determination. The matter is currently under review. However, the township has determined it is probable the appeal will be unsuccessful and it will ultimately be required to repay about $500,000 of grant funds. Accordingly, liability has been recorded in the accompanying financial statements. And now this just says, oh, this is pension liability. Okay. Employer contributions to the Illinois Municipal Retirement Fund. Okay. So the percent that according to this, the percent that the township is contributing to the retirement fund has been decreasing. Okay. Mm-hmm. What's this? Okay. Changes in fund balance, budget, and actual general fund. Okay. General assistance fund. But again, I want to know, okay, we've seen some of the numbers, but I want to know. Yeah, we know each fund has a budget. Got it. And then it said the general fund went over its budget by about $500,000 and general assistance by about 23,000. Okay. Office supplies. Oh, so this would be the column if you wanted to look. Again, though, we don't know how much we can trust these figures. This is saying if they went over or under budget. So like for expenditures, this went under budget. This went over budget. Medical and life insurance. Travel. I always wonder what is that? Travel. $20,000 in travel. Travel where? Where do they go? Wow, security services? Almost 45,000? It's a lot. Auto insurance? Over 100,000. Whoa. Now of course, I know salaries are usually going to be the highest, expense. It's not that much of a surprise, right? But vehicle repairs, 83,000. Jeez. Building maintenance, about 32,000. Oops. Oh wow, $80,000 worth of office supplies. Oh no, I'm sorry. That was fuel. That was fuel. It's a lot of fuel. Community relations. Salaries was about 34,000. Okay, so that's like what, one? No. No, I'm sorry. Community relations division, just for that division? The salaries were almost $500,000? Whoa. What are they doing to relate to the community? That's a lot. Community relations, I think we're still in the other expenditures. We have events, almost 100,000. Sorry, 65,000. Photography and printing, almost 100,000. Oh, all those color brochures, maybe 10,000. Advertising, 10,000. Subscriptions. Consultants, almost 150,000. Outreach, 269,000. Community relations, 84,000. Senior services salaries, again, $500,000. So they've got some good pay there. Senior lunch program was listed at about $500,000. Okay. Senior pantry, about 200,000. Senior center in Cal City. So I mean, all this stuff is interesting, but again, I don't know. I want to see receipts, because otherwise, this is just the audit company. They're just forwarding the figures that they were getting from Robert Hunt and from the staff. But like, I want to see proof. I'm sorry. Special services. Like, so anyway, this is just more of the same here. I'm not going to go through everything. You guys are welcome to go back and check it out. But let's just see food. Look at home relief. Food pantry purchases, about $1 million. Okay, donated almost $2 million. Okay. All right, I want to see if they're going to explain any more of this to us here. And then I'll check comments. Sorry, guys. I was behind on the comments. Is Robert Hunt the sole member of the Township Finance Department? Good question. Mary Avant complained about that publicly before she was a trustee. Now they've stopped reporting payroll details in the meeting. A very good question. Yeah. Robert Hunt's the only one that I've ever heard of, but I'm sorry. Did you say there was work done at the township? Oh, like on the buildings? Yeah. If that's what you meant. Let's give more money to these lawyers. Oh yeah, the lawyers make lots of moolah. Oh, that's nice. No apologies for saying hello. How Robert Hunt calculates these figures. I wonder if he uses his calculator watch. Oh, Napoleon's petroleum fee. Right. It's a lot of Sharpies. Was that $500,000 grant they have to pay back the grant for the at-risk youth program? Oh, good question. Very good question. Oops. Are they hiring at the township? They pay a ton in salaries. Did you see all that? The grant that Kamal Woods and Tiffany blew away. Oh. Are they hiring? Well, I don't want to go to jail. Right. I wouldn't trust working there. Who knows what they're doing with the money. All right, let's finish this up. Okay, this is just going back some past years. Changes in net position. Okay. But again, I mean, all right, but this is assuming that you guys are telling the truth. We don't have any verification here. Assessed value and actual value of taxable property. Interesting. Okay. So total direct tax rate? Okay. Like less than 1%. Interesting. This is talking about with the taxes, I guess, levy. Assessed valuations, rates, extensions, and collections. Last 10 levy years. Okay. But they don't even have the 2024 data available. Is this like the effective tax rate here? So all this is from the office of the county clerk. Oh, now this is interesting. Look, I'm sure, I know, Paul, you would find this interesting because we were talking about, like, do we even need a road and bridge fund? A percentage of the road and bridge fund levy is dispersed directly to the municipalities in the township and not to the township itself. The percentage of the 2023 levy to municipalities was 3%. Oh, okay. That's not very much, but I think if this township were disbanded, the responsibility for the road and bridges could easily maybe be, redistributed to the towns and or the county. Okay. Overlapping governments. Excuse me. Now, are these the effective tax rates for all these different entities? I'm guessing. Oh, Harvey Public Library, 1.1655. Yeah, ours is high here. That would be interesting. Like, look, if you're in Blue Island, saying you have an effective 2.6% tax rate, Cal City 7%, Harvey 8%, Markham 8%. Like that would make sense. Our towns are so high. Ooh, Phoenix 14%. Where's Lansing? I just realized oh, there's Lansing is pretty low. 2.9. What's the lowest? Homewood 1.31. And Dixmoor is lower than I thought too, 1.6. Anyway, I just was curious. Oh, what about Harvey Park District? Okay, I thought it would be higher. Elementary schools. Oh boy, that's where that's where we pay a lot of our taxes there. Like look at from 2023, look at 147. What about 5.5% of your taxes? 8 for 148. 6 for 152.5. 152 is not as high percentage-wise. 155 is 6.8. District 205 is about 5%. 215, about 4%. HF 4%. Principal property taxpayers, current and 9 levy years ago. Okay. So that should be kind of interesting. Let's see. Namdar Realty Group, LLC. About 8 million. Washington Park Plaza. So that's right. We're very fortunate that all that shopping on Halstead is in Thornton Township. That does make a big difference. It's about 10 million. Plymouth, Chicago, 8 million. Frontline Real Estate, 4 million. I don't know where. Waste Management is listed there. Menards pays that much? Interesting. Okay. Outstanding obligations. Okay, whatever. We don't need to go through all that's for other taxing bodies. We don't need to do the whole thing. It's interesting though, because they were talking about. Oh, this is our population as a township. So it has been going down. Yeah, look. For 2016, about almost 170,000, and now we're at about 150 some thousand. Interesting. Principal employers, that is very interesting for sure. That is very interesting. Like Carl Buddig, Allied Tube in Harvey. Look at that. Oh, Carl Buddig has 1,100. Ed Miniot, the district, T-Force Freight, MyJack. Yep. UPS and Harvey. Oh, Lansing representing. Okay, but they're not giving numbers, but they have a few Lansing businesses there too. Interesting. Okay. Very interesting. Oh, this actually might be interesting if it's accurate. Full-time equivalent township employees by type, last 10 fiscal years. Oh, and I gotta go plug my let me go get my cord. 1 second. Whoop. All right, now I got to plug it in. And then I have to plug it in. Plug it into the wall. Okay, I'm back. Let's see here. What do we have? And I'll check the comments. Hello, hello. Am I frozen? Are we frozen? Are we frozen? Hello, hello. Testing 1, 2, 3. Am I frozen here? Ah, there we go. Sorry, guys. I don't know what happened. It froze up on me for a minute. Okay. Let me catch up here to your comments. You would definitely be screwed. Nice with some kind of corruption working at the township. Yeah. You ain't lying. Yes. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I talked about that at the beginning of my stream, actually. Yeah, he, WGN did a decent report on Harvey, I thought. So I want to know who did the work, right? Kamal Woods was the youth director at the township. That was the funds they say they used to open up the car wash and the bistro he had. Oh, allegedly. 14%, yes. The township maintains no bridges, only 9.5 miles of streets without curbs in Lansing and South Holland. Those municipalities could maintain them more efficiently. Yes, I agree, Paul. I definitely agree. You could cut that position from the township and save the township a lot of money and let the municipalities maintain their own cities and villages. Yeah, I mean, at this point, we're probably just going to have to move ahead and try to abolish the township because they're not responding. They spend stuff however they want to spend it. All right, so we're almost done here, guys. Bear with me. Full-time equivalent. If this is accurate, this would be interesting. So, like, the clerk department has 1.85 employees. Administrative finance. There's part of the question. It says 2.46, so it can't just be Robert Hunt. That'd be, almost 3 full-time equivalents there. Administrative maintenance, 7.09. Assessor has about almost 4 positions. Community relations, that's a lot. I mean, which could be good. I just always wonder what people want to do. General assistants. Well, according to this, they went down a lot of employees from 35 in 2021 to 9.5. Is that where they were firing the therapists and stuff? And then some of them show up in 2025 and they didn't show up in the past, like food assistants, 10 employees where there were none before. Here, at-risk youth program, 0.78. Is that the one you guys were talking about? Where they allegedly stole the money? Oh yeah, and look, because remember this used to be big under Frank, the program where they would cut the lawns and stuff for the seniors. Look, so 48.53, and then it really went down under Tiffany. Operating indicators? What is that supposed to mean? Oh, okay. I see, like number of rides and stuff, luncheons, yeah, trips. I want to see bingos. Do they have one just for bingos? I feel like there are a lot of bingos under Tiffany. Days in the park went way up. Yeah. Lawns mode? It lists a lot. Huh. But then again, we don't really, like I said, we don't know how much of this is true and how much isn't. According to these figures, there were a lot of food pantry boxes served and families served. Okay. Seven buildings. Township has 7 buildings. What do you guys think of that? 7 buildings. Okay. Okay. I think this is what we wanted to get to, right, you guys? Okay. This is what works. I want to see what they're saying about it. Okay. John Casper Company, CPA. They're Calumet. I didn't even know they had an office in Mokina, Cal City, Mokina. Okay. Now it says, sorry, let me check for comments. Are you guys all caught up and hopefully I'm not frozen again? Question: if the township is abolished, how much would residents save on property taxes? That decision is up to the county treasurer. There are lots of taxing agencies like MWRD who would ask for more money if they knew we didn't have to pay for a township. Yeah, MWRD definitely doesn't need more money. They're very corrupt. Thornton Township receives about 5% of our property taxes. Thank you, Paul. We can't win one way. We'd have to say, please give us back that tax money. All right, yeah, so let's look at the very end here and see what they're saying. In planning and performing our audit, we considered the township's internal control over financial reporting. As a basis for designing the audit procedures that are appropriate in the circumstances for the purpose of expressing our opinions on the financial statements, but not for the purpose of expressing an opinion on the effectiveness of the township's internal control. Accordingly, we do not express an opinion on the effectiveness of the township's internal control. So if you're an auditor, but you have no opinion on the effectiveness of internal control, see, to me, that's not a very useful audit. A deficiency in internal control exists when the design or operation of a control does not allow management or employees in the normal course of performing their assigned functions to prevent or detect and correct misstatements on a timely basis. Material weakness is a deficiency or a combination of deficiencies in internal control such that there's a reasonable possibility that a material misstatement of the township's financial statements will not be prevented or detected and corrected on a timely basis. Significant deficiency, less severe than a material weakness, yet important enough to merit attention by those charged with governance. Okay. Our consideration of internal control was for the limited purpose described in the first paragraph of this section. It was not designed to identify all deficiencies in internal control that might be material weaknesses or significant deficiencies. Given these limitations, during our audit, we did not identify any deficiencies in internal control that we consider to be material weaknesses. However, material weaknesses or significant deficiencies may exist that were not identified. Do you see, this is like, I feel like this is like fancy accounting speak for saying like, well, there might be something wrong, but there might not be. But if there is, we're not responsible. We perform tests of its compliance with certain provisions of laws, regulations, blah, 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 blah. We do not express such an opinion. Again, okay. Now, it does say here, as a result of this monitoring review by the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, the DCEO mandated that the township refund the entire grant in the amount of $500,000. Okay. Recommendation. We recommend the township evaluate its policies and procedures related to internal control over compliance and implement corrective action as determined necessary. Management's response. The township agrees with the auditor's finding and recommendation. Okay. Now, So in other words, if they find a problem, they're supposed to fix it. Listen to this, though. The township's response was not subjected to the other auditing procedures applied in the audit of the financial statements. And accordingly, we expressed no opinion on the response. So saying even if we found that they did something wrong, we're not going to say whether we think that they actually fixed it. The purpose of this report is solely to describe the scope of our testing of internal control and compliance and the results of that testing, and not to provide an opinion on the effectiveness of the township's internal control or on compliance. This report is an integral part of an audit performed in accordance with government auditing standards and considering the township's internal control and compliance. Accordingly, this communication is not suitable for any other purpose. And that's, I mean, it's similar stuff that I read in Harvey's audits. But basically, I don't think it's very useful. You know, that's why we want a forensic audit, because we have to see receipts, we have to see bank accounts, we have to see credit card statements. You can't escape that stuff. You can't just ask for, you know, the staff to give you the information and then you put it into a report and then see if it sounds good. You know, to me, that's kind of what they're doing, and I don't agree with that. No apologies. Just me. I'm more optimistic. However, it would take a big movement of inspired or angry residents working together to abolish the township. Hey, Paul, I'm behind you. We could do it. And even if it wasn't successful, I still think it would be a good effort, because that's, I think at this point, that's the only thing that's going to force this board to actually take the residents seriously. Meaning the books are being cooked. Very possibly. How would we know? Did you catch 1,100 Christmas toy recipients last year? That is a lie. Tiffany never ordered the toys, and the trustees made her return the $67,000 allocated for them. Thank you, Paul. There you go. See, I can quote numbers all day, right? But if you don't verify and check, see, to me, this is might be an audit, but it's more like Robert Hunt gave me this report and I put it together and I just put Kasperic on the name. Like, that's not. I don't think that as taxpayers we should not be satisfied with this. I thought forensic audit was supposed to be based on. Yeah, this is not a forensic audit. No. My frustration comes from the fact that that a given, it's a need for some, but not all. Oh, explain more. No apologies. What do you mean by that? Okay, so I'm going to close that one, you guys. And yeah, sorry, I didn't know it was going to be this long. We're doing a deeper dive than I thought, but that's all right. You know what? We're due to do this because the lawyer just was so condescending tonight about, like, well, we already talked about this and you missed it. I'm like, what are you talking about? Let's see. So again, if you were just joining us, or if you didn't see before earlier, where we found this, if you go to thorntontownship.com, and then at the top here, you click on financial reports. Okay. And annual reports, I haven't clicked on this one yet, on any of these yet, but I just went down to audits and I clicked on 2025. So we saw a bunch of figures. I don't know what you guys think. I don't think that they're useful because they don't seem to be verified. So I would say that that was not very helpful. So it's listed as an audit. It's listed under 2025, but I would not find that very helpful. I just want to glance. What do these look like? Like annual report, general fund. I'm assuming that's gonna. It's just gonna be a version that. Oh yeah. Oh no. No. This is prepared by. Yeah. Okay. So that's nothing new. That's the stuff that we saw under Tiffany Henry. Yeah. And basically, it's just saying, yeah, we the board, we swear it's true, guys. We're not lying. These are these are the numbers. So that's not really helpful, I don't find. Oh, that's interesting though. Do you guys remember the outstanding indebtedness? That is interesting. This does list some. But at the end of the day, yeah, they could be making up these numbers too. I'm pretty sure you guys remember this from the Tiffany stuff. I'll show you though briefly just so you can see what I'm seeing. And then what did you say? Paul. Kasperic sounds like Sergeant Schultz. I know nothing. I see nothing. Right, exactly. My fault. I'm trying to listen to you and type at the same time. What I'm saying is that the township needs to be abolished because they pick and choose who gets services. Right, I agree. Because I'm all for government aid and programs. Like our tax dollar absolutely should be going to help people. The problem is a lot of these boards, what do you notice? The way they're run, it's just like mafias, like gangs, like clubs, like popularity clubs. Well, hey, if we all get in, then we'll make sure we give all the money to ourselves and our friends and our family and screw everybody else. And that's not what public boards should be. I heard Robert Hunt say that even if there was a forensic audit, even that wouldn't be accurate considering the change of administration. Well, they still got to get in. There got to be receipts and bank statements in there. Show me you smell like BS and it made no sense. Too many overlapping resources. They need to be combined. These services should support all ages and needs, not spend $500,000 on one senior party. Paul says, agree. The residents should decide which services are needed and which residents get them. Whatever happened with the people being able to vote on certain things and issues? Right. Well, and some people will argue. I would say that's probably a big anarchist thing, actually. Arguing for what do you call it? More direct democracy. I'm not I'm not opposed to that. It has its pros and cons as well, but more doing like a referendum would be would be an example of direct democracy, right? You go directly to the voters, versus most of what we do through all of our public boards is representative democracy. So we elect people who then therefore can basically do whatever they want. So I would say two big reforms we could do would have more referenda where you go directly to the voters and you say, look, we're going to vote on this. Like, we're going to vote on whether you want this particular senior program. Should we do it or should we not? The other thing is I think we should have universal recalls, because otherwise with representative democracy, inevitably, however, let's say rich companies or rich people, they pay and they get their people in, you'll have someone in there for the whole term. And if you can't recall them, I mean, they can just do whatever they want, right? Until it's time for the next election. And then you get another problem with just, people throw a whole bunch of money and get bad people in office. So I think those would be two reforms I would like to see. But those are bigger systemic reforms. But yeah. Do you guys recognize this? This was excuse me. This was, I think, gone over under Tiffany. But I just stumbled onto, what did I stumble onto? Oh, outstanding indebtedness, though. That I thought was interesting. Like, that means people and things we owe money to. Aflac, Alfred M. Swanson Jr. We owe him $9,000. The township owes him $9,000. Like, who is that? Aquamis Plumbing, $2,100. Like, did these people ever get paid? Chris Gonzalez, trustee, $1,000. Like, did he ever get paid? Great Line Communications, $22,000. Home Depot credit card, almost $2,800. John's Catering Company, $40,000. Wow. Okay, did John's ever get paid after Tiffany left? Like, wow. Let's see, who else here? Somebody should just research these and see if they're all legit. Like, what's Scarabius LLC? $5,000. We owe them $5,000 for what? Southland RCM Communication Services. Like, this could be this. Somebody could just start like a random like shadow company. Ew, not in my face. Thank you. and then invoice a government entity for like $12,000. Like, who are these people? Anyway, Wex Bank. Like, who the heck is Wex Bank? $4,000. So yeah, so therefore we can eliminate. Oh yeah. Thank you, Paul. I'm gonna go. I am gonna political horseplay. Yeah. This means anything happened? Did they tell us who they're paying or hiring? Or what are they doing to help? No, really, there was nothing new. But I do want to go over it. Not play every minute, but I'll fast forward and you'll see. It was pretty much the same old BS. So the reason why I wanted to do that and I wanted to start with this is because during the meeting, the lawyer again was kind of snippy about it too, but he was after my comment and I said, we still don't really know how things are being, where our money's going. He's like, well, you missed it and you weren't there. So if you go to the website, or, they gave a report and it's on the website. So we just looked under annual reports and guess what? No news. That was all the stuff that was put out under Tiffany. We don't trust any of that. So just put a big X through that right there. Okay. Audits. We just read that. Kaspersky said, we don't really know if any of this is true, but here, this is what Robert Hunt gave us. So eliminate that. And then the only other thing besides that would be, I see they posted these like, okay, let's click on one more thing before I do the summary. But for 2026, they've already voted on these, but the general fund budget ordinance. So saying how much money that they should be spending, right? Budget and appropriation. It goes through the end of February of 2026. So let's see what that looks like. And this would be the only other thing that I could see as far as the lawyer saying, well, that's not true. The information's there. So that's why we're doing this. We're basically checking up on what the lawyer said and what the administration said. Okay, so not under Tiffany administration. Yeah, right. Exactly. So I want to see if there are RFPs or RFQs. Thornton Township lawn mowing and maintenance services, and that's it. No other RFPs or RFQs. Okay. Oh, Tiffany cares. Tiffany cares. Well, at this point, we probably better have Miss Tiffany in than these people, though. They're really pretty bad. They just like to put on a better face, I think, or a more civilized sort of appearance from the outside. But they're still not. Their bottom line, Paul, they're still not answering questions they need to answer. That's my problem. So this was, okay, so this, I just want to look at this as an example. So this is the 2026 budget and appropriation for the general fund, okay? Let's see. This is something that should have been submitted to the public and should have been available, I believe, via paper before it was voted on. And of course, it was not. That's like, these people get paid way too much money to not even follow basic good governance, procedures. So this is what they're budgeting for our revenue. Blah, 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 blah. Let's see. Oops, wait. Total revenues. Okay. And then the expenditures. Look at administration, 7 million, run 7 million. So that's huge. Clerk, about 38,500. Oh, I always forget about the cemetery for the indigent, for people who can't afford to pay. Yeah, that is a thing. Assessor, senior services. Yep, we get 1.6 million, huh? What is outreach and engagement? More than 1 million. What is that? The TAP program? About 1 million? What's that? Department of Youth? More than 1 million? Okay. So that's what they've allotted. Oh, Oh yeah, let's look under the bloated administration department. Salaries, yeah, almost 1.3 million in salaries. Wow. Now wait a minute. I thought Tiffany said that we had a a surplus or something. Remember? But look. So why are we allotting more than 3 million for loan payments then? I don't understand that. Okay, so then they're just going through and they kind of give us some stuff, but it's not, I guess this is what they're projecting. The clerk stuff, it doesn't actually look too bad under the clerk stuff. I thought it would be worse. Special project, what's that? 15,000? That's a lot of money for something vague. Wow, senior services, the salary is $500,000. Yeah, I guess us poor folks, we're just trying to work regular jobs just to survive. I guess we should be hired by these government boards too. Again, senior citizen luncheon program, $500,000. Wow. Almost $500,000 salaries just for transportation employees. Yeah, this is really expensive, you guys. I don't know. So we have to decide as the voters, is it worth it, to do all this stuff? This is what I want to know. What do they do? What's Department of Community Engagement and Outreach? Because the salaries, they're making almost $500,000. What do they do? Outreach. To me, is that like, I don't know. What is it? Is it therapy? Are they just advertising other township services? Like $100,000 for a newsletter. What? Why? Outreach, 150,000. What does that mean? Community relations, 144,000. What? That is like, that could definitely be like misspent very easily. It's very vague. Wait, did you guys respond? What's TAP? What is TAP? What is that? Did you guys tell me what TAP was? Wait, hold on. Last month, they asked the township board to put a referendum on the March 17th ballot establishing a recall mechanism for elected township officials. Yes. Yeah. I mean, they'll never do it, Paul. We'll have to do it ourselves. We could. We could do it through a referendum. But Scarabius is Donnie Trotter political lobby. Why are we paying him all that money to lobby? I'm sure he's related to somebody, friend to somebody. But what's TAP, you guys? TAP. Remember what TAP is? That's about 275,000 salaries for TAP. Like, what is that program again? Like this, contractual services for TAP. Contractual consultant, 240,000. But what does that mean? 79,000 for a vehicle expense? Youth and Family Services salaries, again, 400,000. So it's pretty expensive. So that's what they voted on. Yeah. And of course, none of this was made available to us before they voted on it. Mm-hmm. Okay. So all that to say that the lawyer lied tonight. That was not anything significant or interesting or helpful. Okay. So he said, look on the website. He said, you missed it. They already reported on it. No, that was not, none of that We did a pretty in-depth dive, I would say, given all that information, and none of that was helpful. So unless you guys are seeing something I'm not, the board is definitely still hiding where they're spending the money. All right. All right, and then I'm going to quickly just do, like I said, I don't want to take too long. Oh my gosh, it's already after midnight. I'm so sorry, guys. I didn't mean to go this long. I promise I'm going to do a really, 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 really short recap. They started late. There was not a big crowd. Now, of course, we were all wondering if Mr. Supervisor would deign to bless his subjects that pay his, whatever, 200, 300,000, however much he's making, salary plus all of his other income. If he would deign to to come down from the mountaintop and be present, amongst the commoners for this meeting, and he did show up.
Tonight we're going to have, as customary we do, have a prayer before we start, led by trustee Valerie Stubbs.
Ms. Stubbs was the prayer person.
To Clerk Nesbitt for public comments.
Good evening, everyone. Okay, first up, we have the public comment. Sharon Carter.
Everybody. I came back again to talk about, because we now, the board has finally it. And, it's just devastating, actually. I don't know what we can do, but something got to be done. And people must be educated about it. So I don't know if we can have a town hall with the different residents so people can understand, what has caused the bill to rise and what areas. But something has to be done because I would say last year this time, by the bill, we were reassessed. I had to get $17,000. Now I get a milk bill.
And she was just saying, hey, we got to do something about these property taxes going up. I was surprised we didn't see more people, since the bill just got sent out.
And I still have a short estimate. Something is wrong. And it's unacceptable because now the American dream is becoming unattainable.
Unobtainable. No, I agree. And then I did a little comment.
Yeah, is it on? We can't hear you.
Okay, yeah, that's much better. Okay. Good evening. So yeah, I just wanted to check in on the status of the audit. I don't know if that's been done or been approved or what's up with that, so we can figure out, where the money's gone for the past several years. Also, I do see on the agenda, approval of bills again, but there's no, so it lists the three funds, general assistance and road and bridge, but I don't see, I didn't see anything online. I don't see any packets here as far as, detailed information as far as what bills were paid and numbers. So, I mean, that is still something, we're waiting to see.
Right.
As residents. FOIA requests, I don't know if those are still behind, but I know people have been FOIAing a lot of information as well. And then, under new business, it talks about the tax levy, Now I'm wondering, does that mean our taxes are going up, but it's staying under the, I think 5% or something, or whatever, if it stays under that, you don't need a special hearing. But again, the agenda doesn't really specify anything. I wasn't able to find anything. So how much are our taxes increasing by? I'm gonna assume, since it doesn't say anything, that our taxes are going up. And then we still have the issue with, the supervisor's salary, which everybody knows, they've gotten their property tax reports and people are really upset. Taxes are really, really, really bad. So anything this board can do, including, reducing the supervisor's salary or reducing other expenses, would really help, because people are just barely able to hang on paying their taxes, as we've been saying for quite a while. I have not received any emails or calls from anyone on the board, so we don't really have any answers. I haven't heard anything, haven't really read any answers. Lansing Journal usually has pretty good coverage, but I haven't really seen you guys get them any information either, so I don't know, what are we doing here? It just seems like a nicer, quieter version of what was happening under Tiffany. We still don't have
You guys
answers
agree?
where the money's going. But we do know that everybody up there is getting paid. And there are a lot of contracts being paid out and a lot of bills being paid. So sure, it would be nice to at least know where our tax money is going.
Amen. Amen.
Before continue to items,
So, I mean, I don't know what you guys think, but I don't think I said anything that wasn't true. We know everyone on that board and all the contractors and everything, they're all getting paid. There's no question about that. But then when we have questions or we want to be heard, we get a whole bunch of excuses, right? But they're never not getting paid. So then Napoleon has a lawyer answer and basically say like, you know what you're talking about. So listen to the lawyer's response now.
item 6, I'm gonna turn it over to Attorney Dezens.
With
You guys
regard to
think
where
it's
the
the lawyer
township
that we
monies have gone, I note that you were not present, Mrs. Linsky, when the auditors presented their report, and their comments about the pending federal investigations, as to why they couldn't make certain representations. Other accounting firms have been consulted in order to do a forensic audit. They will not touch it because there are federal investigations involved. That has been publicly disclosed and publicly answered multiple.
So isn't this interesting? So this is his excuse that you are paying for with your tax money for the lawyer to say, oh, well, no, we have ever increasing and sophisticated excuses for why we can't tell you where your money's going. So this one was basically they can't find a company to do a forensic audit because of the federal investigation pending. So we're the only board in Illinois that has a federal investigation pending. I highly doubt it. Or in the country. I think that it happens with other boards. I don't see why that would be a problem or an obstacle to getting a forensic audit. So somebody please help verify that. Reach out. Somebody needs to call the FBI and ask them, is that true? Sounds like a BS to me, though. More excuses.
Times at this meeting, and likewise, the audit has it in writing as to the reasons why the audit was provided and the conditions subject to that audit. And so the audit report has been available, and it provides a detailed analysis of the funds and how the funds were spent by the township.
Thank you. And that is what we just did. We just looked at what he said was the audit that should answer all your questions. And I'm such a, I wasn't there. Oh, he noted that I wasn't there. I didn't listen. And I'm not aware of the federal investigation limits and And I should just sit down and be satisfied with this audit that we just went over. And we just saw what BS that is and how that does not explain anything. And it basically is just like the auditor saying, well, here, we're not going to guarantee anything, but this is what the township staff gave us. Sorry. No, y'all could still be stealing money all over. And then really the only other big thing that I noticed was that I want someone to verify that Napoleon says that your taxes are not being increased. So is that true or is it not true? Because I know we found Mayor Clark will say that and he lies. He says the taxes are not being increased. And what they mean is that they're not being increased above, I think, 4.99%, where they have to have the special hearing. So that I would like to have verified. Someone should verify that. Okay.
On October 28th, 2020.
Okay, and then they go through every, but they're sure having a good time up there. Look, Miss Casey's smiling away. Napoleon's all smiles.
These resolutions will fulfill the requirements under the state law formally announced.
Now, look though, Miss Valeria and Miss Mary, they are totally silent. They have nothing to say. I still don't understand that. After all that time, if they were so loud against Tiffany and had all these questions, and now they have no questions, nothing to say. I mean, how much are these people getting paid? That's what I want to know.
And I recommend so the township can, so that we can maintain in full compliance and proceed with the legislative adoption process. So at this time, I'm going to ask for approval of resolution 25-R-006, the resolution of Thornton Township for compliance with Illinois Truth and Taxation Act for the 2025 tax levy related to the general fund and the general assistance fund. And just to be clear,
Here.
we're not over the last year, we're keeping the same tax levy that we've had over the past couple of years. So we're not increasing any more than what was already there on the floor. So this time I'll ask the board for approval to adopt the resolution 25-R-006 for the general.
So we need to verify that. We need to verify that. Is it true the taxes aren't going up? All right, and then they have their executive session, blah, 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 blah. Crowd. I hope more people come out and express their extreme rage at these ridiculous taxes. And as you can tell, this board has no sense of urgency. You would think that everybody's just like a millionaire like Napoleon. There's no sense of urgency. There's no sense of, yeah, we really need to bring expenses down. We need to watch how we're using our resources because everybody's hurting. What can we do? Maybe we can even do some tax refunds. No, there's no sense of even being remotely in touch with what the public is going through. They are detached, they're unfeeling, they're cold, they're cruel, and they're all happy and smiling and laughing. And because, like I said, they're getting paid.
Motion by trustee Phillips, seconded by talking to potential retirees, and the purpose was to provide information and guidance on the IMRF posted the quarterly is attended our families.
Yep, and that's it. So the ending part, you didn't miss much. Napoleon just said like, oh, okay, and look, and we did some events, so you should be impressed. I'm like, okay. That was it, y'all. Any questions, comments, concerns? Otherwise, I'm going. Look, again, Miss Valeria, Miss Mary, like totally silent, submissive. They do their thing. They're out of there. There's not that energy that we felt with Tiffany. When people were actually like, yeah, let's ask questions. What's going on? This is our government. So very sad. Anyway, you guys are quiet, so you must be good or you're tired. All right, thanks for joining, everybody. Have a wonderful night, and we'll talk soon. Au revoir.